way anyone on this earth can lose weight is by creating a calorie deficit. And in this video today, I'm going to tell you 5 different strategies you can use to create that calorie deficit, and these are not tracking your calories and macros. Hi everyone, my name is Trina, nutrition and fitness consultant. Whenever someone gets on a diet, they get intimidated that it has to be something very fancy or something very different from what they're following today. And the main thing that they try to do is count calories. But before you get to that stage of counting calories and tracking macros, you can try these different strategies which will still help you create that deficit. Diving right into the strategies, strategy number 1 is habit-based coaching. What is habit-based coaching? All of us have some or the other type of habits that we are very used to doing. Someone might have a habit of having some type of fried food or junk food with their evening tea. Some might have a habit of having alcohol every night before going to bed so that they get that sleep. Some people have a habit of having something sweet after they finish their meal or after they have their lunch or dinner. So everyone has some or the other type of habits which they might realize or might not. So if you have a habit that you know is a very high caloric one or a calorie dense food that comes in, maybe you want to fix that first. So understanding and reflecting yourself on what habits you have currently and then taking one off at a time will help you eventually understand your eating patterns, and you get to know if those habits are actually good or bad for you. The next strategy is intermittent fasting. Yes, I know intermittent fasting is not a diet, but if you try to adapt to just having your foods in a certain window, a certain period of time, that will help you eliminate a lot of calories that you are having in several meals. Like if you are someone who has a midnight snacking problem, or if you have someone who needs to eat something as soon as they wake up first thing in the morning, or you might just keep eating a lot of foods in between your day, like snacking a lot, you might try intermittent fasting, wherein you will be able to understand that you're not just restricting the calories. But one thing to keep in mind when you're doing intermittent fasting is you cannot eat all the calories of the day in that feeding window. You still have to keep to the same eating habits like you were doing before, but now you're eliminating a certain meal, like maybe a breakfast or that snack or that late night snack that you used to eat. This strategy might not be very accurate, but it is still something definitely worth trying, and a lot of people get a lot of results by doing just intermittent fasting. Be careful that you're not under eating, you're not eating very less, wherein your body after a certain point will not respond anymore. So till now, the 2 strategies that we learned were mostly about changing the way of eating, changing the patterns of how you're eating and at what timing you're eating. Now once we fix your habits and you get to understand if you were eating too many meals, next is the strategy number 3, which is nothing but portion control. Yes, I know you must have heard this a lot everywhere else, but this strategy finally brings you to controlling the portions that you're eating, understanding how much you are eating. You might start with just measuring the entire oil that has been used to cook for the day, or you might just use different bowls and vessels where you can try and keep it to just that limit to every day. Like you can select a bowl at home and just keep it for yourself to, I will eat just 2 cups of this rice, or I'll eat a cup of this this cup dal. So this will help you get to the beginning of tracking macros, beginning of understanding if that food is being enough or not enough for you. In a day or 2, you will understand if you're feeling too hungry, too weak, that is a very less amount of portion that you are eating. You might want to increase it back, or and then you can slowly eventually reduce it if you are looking to make any changes in your overall lifestyle. But another good way would be to first portion out everything that you're eating currently. Like per se, if you eat a plate full of rice, you might want to see how many bowls of it is coming for now, and then eventually try reducing 1 bowl at a time and see how you're feeling throughout the day in terms of your hunger, appetite, your mood, your energy, and then realize if that portion is being enough for you or not. This is another way you're not exactly tracking the macros, but you're still getting in some portion control in your life, which will help you create a deficit, and that will help you lose weight. Coming to the 4th strategy, and that is nothing but counting your proteins. Counting your proteins, or rather calling it tracking your protein macros. In this, what you do is you at least understand what your daily requirement for the day for protein is. But why protein? First, let's cover that. Protein is just very cool. Protein has more muscle sparing properties. Protein makes you feel full, it is more satiating, and the chances of you eating other foods when you complete your protein intake is very, you don't tend to eat other foods. So protein is something you really need to target on. So once we start understanding how to track protein, you also get familiar with using the kitchen scale. You also might want to start tracking other foods. Cool, right? But why is protein the easiest? For example, if you're a non-vegetarian, you can start tracking things like, okay, I have 2 eggs, 2 egg whites, 200 grams of chicken, 1 scoop of whey protein. So this will help you at least get to some protein goal for the day, and you will be eating at least some amount of protein. With this, your tracking habits will get into place, and it's easy. It's easy to just measure 2 eggs, 2 egg whites, 200 grams of chicken. You're not measuring everything to the T, but you're at least measuring a major chunk of it. And when it is the best macronutrient that you can measure, start with protein. You will get to see that you are building the tracking habits. You are getting eventually to the point where you might want to track everything. But again, as I told, how will it help with weight loss is when you eat protein, you feel fuller, and your chances of eating other foods become lesser. So that was strategy number 4. The last and the final strategies, if you found all of these very intimidating, this one is the easiest one, trust me. In this one, it's nothing but your pre-planned indulgence days. Like, you promise yourself to follow a strict and home-based eating pattern for 5 to 6 days in a week, and one day you allow yourself to eat whatever you feel like eating. This might not be easy in the first few weeks when you feel like eating everything, but eventually when you know that yes, I'm going to get that one weekend where I can eat, your consciousness, your mindfulness about eating foods reduces. And also, if you were someone who used to eat throughout the week outside or indulge in very calorie dense food, you might now just push it to the end of the week. In that way, you do not have to eat it on a everyday basis, but now you're just eating it at the end of the week. In this way, you're controlling, you're doing a lot of damage control, wherein you're balancing out all the calories that you would eat in extra throughout the week, and you're just eating it in one day. But eventually, when you know that in one day also you will not end up eating everything, and you will get this day again next week, it just becomes very easy for you to stay focused, and also you start losing a lot of weight. So those were those strategies that I had for you guys. If you're a coach or a trainer who's watching this video, please watch for the next video where I will tell about a few more strategies that you can use when you're training clients, and how you can help them get to use different dieting strategies for them to get started. Do keep an eye for the next video. Until then, please subscribe and share it with anyone who you think this will be helpful. Thanks for watching.